All right, gonna do a bunch of recordings today, finish off the fantasy hockey content. This video specifically is going to finish off the cheese list, the don't eat the cheese forwards that will ruin your fantasy season. Before I start, though, just want to address one of the comments in the goalie section, because, you know, one of these dickbags, of course, they constantly think that, oh, you know, you so-and-so, you don't know anything, right? Okay, so let me show you. This is specifically for the dickbag in the fucking comment of the goalie video, who claims, by the way, that Sean Allen, the host of ESPN, would never change his rankings based on what some random guy would say, right? You're wrong about that, and I'm going to show you why. And we'll do this. We'll do it. So this is his rankings from 2 years ago. And anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, just go back and watch the goalie video. You notice Shesterkin's at 3 and Vasilevsky's at... This is from 2022, 2023, by the way. So this is... We showed you the one last year. This is the one from 2 years ago. Shesterkin's at 3. Vasilevsky's at 6. Hellebuyck's at 12. Sorokin's at 16. Jacob Markstrom's at 19. Saros is at 21. You think I'm just making this shit up? Ottinger's at 28. You know. Tristan Jarry's at 45. Darcy Kemper's at 50. Jack Campbell, 54. Frederick Anderson. I mean, you can't make it up. Like, did you think I was making this shit up? Look at how many goalies I just went over. So, the first goalie outside the top 100. So, again, there was 11 goalies inside the top 100. And then 11 goalies inside the top 100 last year. And now there's basically 0. So, again. By the way, I specifically waited to put out this next video because what I'm going to show you is he totally changed the goalie rankings again. And, by the way, did you notice... Did anybody check the recent rankings? Trent Frederick's nowhere to be found in the top 100 anymore. Mackenzie Weegar's no longer ranked ahead of Quinn Hughes. Do you think that's an accident? No. And I'm going to say this. We don't have nearly the amount of followers on the YouTube that people that read the site. I don't know if you don't know that, but again, for the dickbag in the goalie comments, we have the evidence. So if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. That's your prerogative. I'm trying to help you win. And if you don't want to win fantasy hockey, fine. Don't listen to me. Nobody's forcing you to watch the video, but you're guaranteed victory if you come to me. So let's do the cheese list for the forwards now because we're tired of talking about that dickbag that doesn't know anything. All right. So start the screen share. And the whole purpose of this is, look, so first things first, I put in our scoring type. It's basically the same. Only other differences is the assist count the same, and the goalies get a boost for if they get a shutout. That's really the only difference. Everything else is basically the same. And then otherwise, let's just go over the list. So he did update this, by the way. There are more goalies inside the top 100, which, no surprise, right? There's Vasilevsky. There's a couple more. I'll show you that first. Just quick rankings up. I didn't want to record another one until he updated this because I knew that was going to happen. So right now, as it stands, there's 7 goalies inside the top 100 instead of 0 now. He went too far the other way, as I tried to tell you. Let's keep things moving. We're on the forwards now. All right, so here's the bottom line. We waited long enough for the update. First name on the list is Frank Vatrano. Why the fuck is anybody taking Frank Vatrano inside the top 35 picks? That's insane. Frank Vatrano should not, under any circumstance, be a top 31 pick. That's nuts. That's insane. Let's just pull up Vatrano's numbers, right? So if we just pull up Vatrano's numbers, he had a career high, 60 points. By the way, he's never had 60 points in any other season. He's never even had 50 points in any other season. Why the fuck? Like this Sean Allen guy, he's so fucking Riri. Why the fuck am I passing on any of these guys? for Vatrano. Like, let's go deep. Let's go deep here. Let's go deep. Why would I pass on Clayton Keller for Vatrano? Like, let's just why would I pass on Stützle for Frank Vatrano? Keep going. Why would I pass on Fiala for Vatrano? That's insane. He shouldn't even be in the top 100. Like, what the fuck are you smoking, Sean Allen? He had 60 points last year. And even his projection of 58 points. Okay, maybe he gets 58 points. But that's not a top 31 pick. Don't pick Frank Vatrano. Like, do not do that. I don't know who needs to hear that, but don't pick Frank Vatrano. That will totally kill your season. Like, that's it. If you pull the trigger on Frank Vatrano at this spot, you're brain dead. Don't do that. Like, just do not, under any circumstance, do that. Next, we're not going to have to scroll much further. Verhaeghe. And now this one's not as egregious. But, like, okay, so here's my thing. Okay, so Verhaeghe's 32. He's not better than his own, like, he's not better than Barkov on his own fucking team. And you want to say, oh, well, you know, maybe Verhaeghe will score more goals and he'll get more points. Maybe. And I listen, this one is not nearly as egregious as the Vatrano one. If you want to pick Verhaeghe, I'm not going to argue with you. But, like, you're probably getting around 70 points again. I can find somebody in pick 80 that gets me. Like, I can get somebody. Let's just go to page 3 randomly. Who's to say Tuck can't get you 70 points? Who's to say that Marchand can't give you 70 points? Who's to say Batherson can give you 70 points? Like, Boldy could give you 70 points. Like, I might get it out of Giroux again. I might, like, where Bennett's ranked is probably where Verhaeghe should go. And maybe Verhaeghe should go a little bit higher. Maybe. But, like, Buchnevich could get 70 points. Why is there a 100-point gap? And he's ahead of Barkov? That's brain dead. Don't do that. Do not pick. Do not. Like, if you want Verhaeghe, I'm not going to argue with you. He's a good hockey player. He's criminally underrated. But, like, just don't pick him, like, 32nd would be my advice. Okay, we'll keep going because this list is insane. Next, John Tavares. He's declining. I understand that he plays for the Leafs, but he had 65 points last year. I think these numbers are coming down. Very, very real chance that he's in the 60-50 category. I think 80's probably done. He's heading into age 34 season. Like, he still wins his faceoffs, right? If you play in a league that you get faceoff wins, okay, sure. But, like, where's the offense? I'm not getting enough offense to even pass on Suzuki here. Like, I'm just not getting enough offense. Nor am I getting enough upside. Like, Wyatt Johnston could go like this. Even Bouchard had 82 points from a defenseman last year. That's not close to what Tavares is giving you. I don't know. Like, even a guy like Kempe, I know he's scoring. I know he's putting a puck in the back of the net. By the end of the season, he could be the third line center, just winning faceoffs and getting 60 points. That's too high. Like, I'd rather have Larkin. There's just other names here. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, who's to say Tage Thompson can't fucking bounce back and have a monster season? Tage Thompson could easily have a bounce back monster season. What am I doing picking up a 34-year-old Tavares at... Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not pick him this high. We'll keep things moving here. This one, we basically go back to back here. Don't pick Vincent Trocheck at 39. Don't do that. I love Vincent Trocheck, by the way. I love Vincent Trocheck. Has nothing to do with Vincent Trocheck, the player. He's good. But again, let's just go back to his numbers. All right, so we got career high 77 points. He's only hit the 70-point mark once, and that was with Florida during his age 24 season. Like, who's to say he can't go back to 64? Who's to say he can't go back to 51? Who's to say he, you know what I mean? Like, you're buying Trocheck at an absolute premium. And I love look, man, I love the player. I think he's a good player, but that's way too high. That's way too high. I think from what I've seen in these rankings, there's a ton of Rangers bias. Like, it's not an accident. Zibanejad's up here, Panarin's up here, which those, you know, like, I'm not saying don't pick any Rangers, but like, there's not. Okay, here's a perfect example. So let's go 1, 2. There's four Rangers inside the top 50. That ain't the case for any other fucking team. You can't find it. You can't find 4 guys on any other team inside the top 50. You can't. Actually, the Oilers do. But the Oilers score like crazy. So the Oilers have Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, and Bouchard. That's the only other team. And the Panthers. Maybe the Panthers do too. Yeah, the Panthers do too. So the Panthers have Tkachuk, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, and Barkov. So there's only 3 teams that have 4 guys. But like, there's only 3 teams with 4 guys inside the top 50 on one single team. You're asking to include Trocheck into that conversation, and you're asking to include Kreider into that conversation. I'm not doing that on either guy. I think that's way, way, way too high. I'd rather chase the upside with Wyatt Johnston. I mean, say whatever you want about Marner, but 85 points. Who's to say he can't get 90 points? Konechny, Thompson, Kempe. Like, there's no way these are top 40 picks, Trocheck and Kreider. No way. I'd be willing to take them at probably like 90, 100, 110. Now let's go to Kreider. So Trocheck's entering age 31. If we could just go to the Rangers lines, can we do that? Rangers lines. That'll help explain things. So he's on the first line. That's cool. And he's on the first power play. That's cool. Like, I get all of this, right? I get all of this. But like, how good are they gonna be? Score team per game. Like, do we understand how good they have to be to have that many guys? So here's your team, and this will change, right? We know this will change. But last year the Rangers were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were the 7th best offense. Right behind, like, Carolina and Detroit are snipping at their heels. Their offense, to me, is not up here. Like, it's not Edmonton good. It's not Colorado good. It's not up here. For those guys to be worth your money, they have to be. And I'm not buying that. And then let's go to Chris Kreider, who, by the way, he's 33, heading into age 34. Not a spring chicken. And maybe he'll score goals for you again, because he does score goals. 39 last year. 52 2 years ago. 36. But like, just 1 year ago, he was at 54. He's only had one other season with 70 points. One other season. You're buying Trocheck and Kreider at their absolute peak. Do not do that. Like, do not pick these guys in this spot. Like, they should go at least 30 picks later. Like, you're getting the ancillary pieces of the Rangers and then treating them as if, like, here's a perfect example. You're treating them as if they're the number 1 on the Sabres. They're the number 1 on the Kings. They're the number 1 on the Flyers. If you're telling me the third and fourth guy are going to outscore the number one in the Sabres, maybe, but I wouldn't rank it that way. Next on the list, Joel Eriksson-Ek. I like Joel Eriksson-Ek. He's a good hockey player, but like, there's too much risk here. I'm going to tell you why there's too much risk here. And I basically have both wild centers on this list, so we'll just go over both. So, 64 points last year. It's not terrible. And he's going to lay out some hits, block a few shots. But, like, there's no real upside here. Like, 43rd. Like, we just saw what happened. Like, 85 points for Marner. 64 points for Eriksson-Ek. Eriksson-Ek's not outscoring him. Like, Eriksson-Ek is not outscoring him. Eriksson-Ek's not outscoring Bouchard. Eriksson-Ek's not outscoring Barkov. Like, that's crackhead material. Why would you do that? If we just go to the wild lines, like, this is going to be the biggest factor. And if Eriksson-Ek can do this. Okay, so right now, Hartman's in the top line. That's dead. If Hartman's the top line center, this is dead. He has to skate with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. If you go to the first power play, he is. But this could change, man. Like, who's the number one center going to be? Is it going to be Hartman? Is it going to be Eriksson-Ek? And if it's going to be, or is it going to be Rossi? It could be Rossi, by the way. It could be Rossi, but right now he's on the third line. And if he's on the third line, so if we just go to, let's just go to this tab. All right, so here's Rossi. He should be coming up here. So he's the 65th rated forward. Why would I take him over the first line center for the Islanders? Why, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I take him ahead of the first line center for the Stars? Why would I take him for the number one goal scorer in the Sabres? Or Marchand, who's a given. Like, both of the wild centers, Eriksson-Ek, Rossi, way too high. One of them will be the correct answer. But it could be fucking Hartman. And Hartman's way outside the top 100. So if you want Eriksson-Ek, you got to pick him ahead of Marner, which is brain dead. If you want Rossi, you got to pick him ahead of, like, Bo Horvat, which is brain dead. One of those guys could very well pop. One of those guys could very well have a career year because Kaprizov, Zuccarello, that's gonna hit, and their power play should score. But it's only gonna be one of them. Who's it gonna be? Now this could be the worst case scenario. If they skate Hartman on the first line and then put Eriksson-Ek on the power play, then Rossi is a 0. And Eriksson-Ek should probably be taken like 90th. So if this happens, both things you got fucked up. Best case scenario, it's one of them. Don't do that. Like, don't go down that road. I think we went over Rossi enough. If you want me to go over Rossi more, I can. He's a young player. Maybe he'll pop. We live in the Chinese farmer range. Maybe he'll pop, but I don't see it. Next on the list is Jordan Kyrou. He's the 50th ranked player. I don't know what you guys smoke crack on when it comes to this Jordan Kyrou, but, like, he's really not that good. Like, he's fine. Don't get me wrong. He's fine. He's got some skill to him. But he's literally the poor man's Marner. So last year he had 67 points in 82 games, but here's the biggest problem I have with him. These are total zeros. You're not getting any hits. You're not getting any block shots. Go to his teammate, Robert Thomas. He doesn't really do these things either. But he was at 86 points. And if you go to, this is just the forward rankings. This next tab that I'm looking at, this is just the forward rankings. So Buchnevich, who basically had the same output as him, is ranked 92nd among forwards. And that's not all players. That's just forwards. Where the fuck is Robert Thomas? Here's Braden Shen. Here's Robert Thomas, who's criminally underranked. 86 points last year. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, he's shown no ability. And it's the Blues. How good are the... First of all, A, how good are the Blues going to be? B, he's not the number one option on the Blues. C, he doesn't hit or block any shots. He's a finesse player. That's not going to get you any of those categories. And I guess 4 would be, how good is this Blues power play? Like, is this Blues team really scoring? Like, I'm taking Kempe 100 times out of 100 over Kyrou. That's crazy. Don't do that. Don't pick Kyrou inside the top 50. If you want to pick Kyrou at like 80th overall, fine. He'll be off the board by then. But if we just go to this Blues line, let's just go to the Blues lines. All right, we'll do that. How sexy is this line? Like, okay, Shen, Thomas, Kyrou. How good is this power play? I don't know. It's fine. So last year, are the Blues scoring enough points for you? They're down here. They basically scored the same amount of goals as the Blue Jackets and slightly more than the Canadians and Flyers. You know what I mean? Like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this Kyrou thing? That's too high. It's not as egregious as Frank Vatrano is easily the worst ranking on here. That's totally insane. But also don't do this either. Next tab, don't have to scroll up much further. Marchessault, dumb. Don't rank him 52nd. That's stupid. That's incredibly stupid. We'll go through it right now. That's incredibly stupid. Do not do that. Do not pick Marchessault that high. That's so dumb. So we'll go to Marchessault. And by the way, look, I like the Knights, and you'll say this, right? Oh, well, he left your team, so now you're gonna be bitter about it. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do. Leave me alone on these emails for 1 second, please. which is also the craziest thing. You see my emails pop up constantly, right? Nobody reads the site, right? I'm just some random guy, sure. So he cracked the 70-point mark once in a career high season where he popped off 42 goals. 42 goals. He's never scored 40 goals in his life. Random 33 age season. He didn't even get to 70 points. He scored 42 goals and he couldn't even get to 70 fucking points. And that's skating with Eichel. That's way too high. Like, I'm not saying he's not going to help them. I'm not saying that at all. But he can't, like, when you play fantasy, you have to do the buy low, sell high. What did he do the season before? Will it happen again? He's not scoring 42 goals again. It's not happening. I'm going to tell you exactly why it's not happening. Predators lines. Share this tab instead. He's not even on the first line. In Vegas, he was on the first line with Eichel and Barbashev. Now he'll be on the first power play. We know that. But even this power play, is it better than what he had in Vegas? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But 5-on-5, and we can just go to that. Like, this isn't a guy that killed it on the power play. He had some goals on the power play. Don't get me wrong. It's not like he had 0. But a lot of the damage that he did was 5-on-5 with Jack Eichel. So we go to his power play. He only had 8 of his 42 goals on the power play, which is not like anything abnormal from what he did any other season. Like his power play numbers really aren't abnormal. So he had a career high 42 goals. His power play numbers aren't anything abnormal to what he's always done. This is where he had his breakout season. He had 25 5-on-5 goals with Eichel. Now let's go back. Let's go back to the lines. So keep that in mind. He had 25 5-on-5 goals with Eichel. You gonna do that with Tommy Novak? No. Okay. Move him up to the line. Ryan O'Reilly. You think Ryan O'Reilly's going to feed him bunnies like Eichel did? No. That's going to be a terrible contract. And it probably won't be at season number 1. It probably won't be a bad contract this season. But 3 years from now, it's going to be an awful contract. So don't do that. Here's a perfect example. Pick Hedman. Pick Clayton Keller. I'd pick fucking Lucas Raymond. Lucas Raymond had 72 points last year. Marchessault in a career high age 33 season didn't do that. The Brinket. I would take every single player on this list except for Uyghur and Zetterlund. And maybe even Tippett. Yeah, I'd pretty much take everybody except everybody on this list minus Trouba. A couple of the goalies. Don't pick Marchessault this high. Marchessault should go at pick 100, pick 110. He's about 50, 60, 70 picks too high. That's a mistake. Don't do that. don't pick Marchessault that high. That's crazy. Okay, I showed you the numbers. He's never scored 40 goals in his life. Now he's another year older, age 34. His center is now Tommy Novak. I'm just telling you, I watched all the Vegas games. Tommy Novak is not setting up Marchessault 5-on-5 like Eichel did. It's just not happening. So, and there's a big difference between 5-on-5 line 1, 5-on-5 line 2. Now he's 5-on-5 line 2 with Tommy Novak. Don't do that. Please do not do that. That's an easy way to lose your league. Next, Fabian Zetterlund. That's crackhead material. Look at the two names above and below him. Heischer, who's only going like this, former number 1 overall pick. The Devils are going to be good. And Malkin, who, look, I'm not saying he's not old because he is, but it's still fucking Malkin. And Jesper Bratt, Carlson, Fabian Zetterlund. This is what I'm saying about this guy's fucking reread. Dude, Fabian Zetterlund. First of all, the Sharks suck. They're terrible. His line is Celebrini, who's a rookie, and Toffoli. Toffoli is a nice addition. Cool. This is your power play unit. Zetterlund, not even on it. Not even on the first power play. So what? This guy's so dumb. So what Sean Allen is telling you is that with the 66th overall pick, which is a high pick, that's an important pick. You can't fuck that pickup. You fuck that pickup. You're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage if you fuck this pickup. What he's telling you is a guy in 82 healthy games scored 44 points. Heading into this season is not listed on the first power play unit for the dog shit San Jose Sharks. He's telling you to pick him that high. Don't do that. Don't be that stupid. Don't be this stupid. He had a negative 34 on ice rating last year. Do not pick Fabian Zetterlund with the 66th overall pick. That is so dumb. That's so dumb. Can we just go to Fabian Zetterlund's real stats? What the fuck is he? He smokes crack, this guy. This is a Devils prospect that ain't even won. By the way, career high 44 points. 20 points in Jersey in 45 games. We're not going anywhere here, man. By the way, his ice time went through the fucking roof, and he still was really on his point averages with the Devils. where are you going with this Zetterlund thing? A 43 Corsi 4 rating. Okay. Okay. Don't do that. Like, do not pick Zetterlund that high. That's fucking crackhead material. We got, how many more we got? We went over Rossi, actually. So we got 4 more to do. Next on the list, Kadri. Too high. Not egregiously high, but too high. So if we just go to Kadri. So he turns 34 in October. Going like this. Now, he had a good year last year. He had 75 points last year. But the year before, he had 56 on the same Flames team. The only difference is Lindholm was on that Flames team, so he was on the second line. Right? So if we just go to the Flames lines. And this team's going to suck, by the way. Like, do you really want somebody on the Flames? So he's on the first line. But his line mates, Sharangovich, Kuzmenko, power play unit. Yuck. Okay, so here's the thing, though. Flames trade Kadri. This could happen at any moment. Flames mutual interest on a trade. Like, what happens if he gets traded? We don't know, because we don't know where the fuck he's going. But here's the thing. Right now, he's top line, first power play. If he goes second line, second power play instead of first line, first power play, he's not the 76th best or 74th best player in fantasy. And even if he stays with the Flames, there's a very real chance he just goes back to the 56 points. Because this Flames team is going to suck. So, like, okay, let's just go through the screen share again. I'm taking Fiala 100 times out of 100. I'm taking Nugent Hopkins. I'm taking Timo Meier. I'm taking Brock Faber. I'm taking Cole Caulfield. I'm taking Sanderson. I'm taking Kopitar. I'm taking Laine. I'm taking Nurse, Saros, Horvat, Hurdle, Hintz, Heiskanen. I'd think about Trevor Moore. Natchez, Slavkovsky. Yeah, I like. That's way too high. I'm not trying to bang on Kadri. I like Kadri, the player. I don't really want Flame stock. A trade seems inevitable. There's just way more guys that I'd rather have on that list. So, next. Toffoli. This is the biggest problem I have. Like, the Sharks. Like, who wants Shark stock? They're not ready yet. Let's just go back to this. NHL team goal score leaders. Just go back to it. This Sharks team's fucking terrible. Like, they're not just bad, they're historically bad. Here you go. 2 goals a game. Only the Blackhawks were higher. Let's go to Toffoli. Again, I like the player, but what are you really getting here? So last year, 55 total points. He had 33 total goals, 34 total goals in Calgary, 73 points. He's never, like, one season with 70 points. And then last year was one of 2 seasons where he even cracked 50. He's going to do this on the Sharks with a rookie centering him. Heading into age 32. Like, let's just go back to this. Nugent Hopkins, Timo Meier, Faber, even McCann, Caulfield. All much better picks. Like, number one, I don't really want anybody on the Sharks. And number two, if I'm getting somebody on the Sharks, you better incentivize me to pick them. And that is way too high for me to pull the trigger on a Shark. Really that simple. Like, this Sharks team is going to blow again. I know they got Celebrini. I know they had Will Smith. I know Eklund is another year older, but, like, they're going to suck. They might not suck as bad as they did last year, but they're still going to suck. So don't do that. There's no reason to get excited about the Sharks now? Like, can the Sharks prove that they're not fucking historically bad before we even buy anybody inside the top 100? That's all I'm asking. We already went over Rossi. He's same point on the Wild guys. 2 more to do. These guys slightly are outside the top 100, but they were inside the top 100 when I crafted the article, but now they're outside the top 100 in the new rankings update. So let me just talk about them really quickly. Lafreniere, same thing with the Rangers bias. I think I get that he should keep getting a step forward. I get all of that. I get that he showed some signs last year. I do. But like, where are we going with this? Like, how much better is he getting? He was at 57 points last year. Let's just go back to the Rangers lines. Like, somebody's going to get left behind. That's the biggest thing. Somebody's getting left behind. If he's not on this power play unit, he's not that valuable. And this all goes back to it. They're going to yank Trocheck from it. They're going to yank Kreider from it. They're going to yank Zibanejad from it. Who are you yanking off the power play where Lafreniere goes in? Because until this happens, he can't get picked that high. It's really that simple. You cannot pick a forward in the top 100 or somewhere around that isn't on the first power play unit. You can't. Like, Boldy's on the first power play unit. Zuccarello's on the first power play unit. That ranking we'll talk about next to close things out. Like, all of these guys, they're on the power play unit. Like, Patrick Kane on the power play unit. Ehlers on the power play unit. Like, you can't. Like, to pick him ahead of Boldy is nuts. He's not on the first power play unit. And maybe he will. But that just means then Trocheck is not as valuable. That means Kreider's not as valuable. These Rangers guys are ranked way too high. And I'm not saying the Rangers are going to suck. They're a good team. But these Rangers guys, maybe he's a Rangers fan. I don't know. But the Rangers guys, too high. And then to close things out, Tyson Forster, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? Just to close things out, he had 33 points last year. What are we doing there? He shouldn't even be in the top. He shouldn't be in the top 150. First power play unit, not on it. 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 So 5-on-5, he skates with Couturier, who's totally washed, and Konechny, who's good. But what are we doing with this? Like, are we serious? I know he was a first-round pick, but holy fuck, dude. 33 points last year, 77 games. I mean, his ice time was up there. How much better is he getting? Like, how much better is he getting? You're gonna pass on some of these guys? I would take Farabee ahead of him. Let's find Forster. So on the forward ranking, right? He's 80th on the forward ranking, which again, that's a pick you have to hit on. Let's just Buchnevich, Logan Cooley, Elias Lindholm, Scheifele, Brock Besser scored 40 fucking goals last year. Why is he that much lower than Tyson Forster? Dylan Cousins should get better. Barzell, Lehkonen. I would take all of those guys. All of them. Maybe not Blake Coleman. And maybe not Bunting. But yes. Why not? Yes. Maybe. Yes. Like, okay. I think you get the point. Don't just take some random fuck on the Flyers. Like, what? By the way, Mitchkov's not even ranked. So, you could just use your last pick on Mitchkov instead of taking Tyson Forster in, like, what is that, the 9th round, depending on what it is. No, don't do that. That's your cheese list for the forwards. Make sure you want to comment, let me know. I'm here to help. I want to help people win their fantasy hockey leagues. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you help me, I help you, give me the click, I help you win your league. That's the way it should go. The more people I can help, the better it is for me. So, like, my goal, I want to help you win your fantasy hockey league. And the easiest way to do that is go into your draft. Hey, Frank Vatrano, what is that? Nope, not even considering that. That's exactly how you win your league. Let somebody else pick those guys. You turn a profit on the other picks. So that's your cheese list for the forwards. I'll be back. I'm going to try to record all the rest of these, and we'll see you next time.